Hi, welcome to the show. It's day 16 of my 31 days live challenge, and I'm following on from yesterday a little bit. If you've had a look at yesterday's broadcast, you'll know that I was talking yesterday about PEPP Talk, my approach to public speaking. It's the way that I coach, and from the workshops I run: purpose, experience, passion, and performance. The four elements of a great speech. And today, what I want to do is just pick up on purpose and have a look at purpose, and talk about a few stories around how purpose has helped me. But I think it's a really important part of the whole essence of speaking is getting a very clear purpose. Now, if you've ever been to Toastmasters or you've done Toastmaster courses, you'll know that there are four basic objectives that you've got to try to that you can reach with a speech. And you can only pick one of them. It's either a speech to inform, a speech to entertain, a speech to persuade, a speech to inspire. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make an informative speech that's very entertaining, or that you can do a persuasive speech that isn't also informative. But you have to make sure you're very, very clear about which one is your primary aim. And this is the challenge, I think, with speaking, is that we want to be entertaining. There's an old saying in the National Speakers Association: is it important to use humor in your speech? Answer: only if you want to get paid. Now, people like humor. People like to be entertained. And when you're delivering a speech, if you're doing it professionally or if you're doing it online, if it's not entertaining, you won't keep your audience. Online, they'll just switch, go somewhere else. You've only got a couple of seconds and decide, oh, no, this is no good. I'm off somewhere else. If you're doing a speech as a paid speaking engagement, you're probably not going to get invited back if it isn't also entertaining. But it also has to have content. And you've got to be clear about what you're trying to do. If you're speaking after dinner, then you're probably going to have a much bigger emphasis on entertainment. A friend of mine, Wayne Pickering, said that there's a really simple formula for this to remember. In the morning, you need more stuff than fluff. In the middle of the day, you probably need an equal balance of stuff and fluff. And in the evening, you definitely need more fluff than stuff. So that's the whole idea. More content in the morning. As you progress through the day, less and less stuff, less and less gritty content, more and more entertainment, until by the time you get to sort of pretty late on, the wine is flowing, and it's all got to be about entertainment. I've had to make a decision. I can make my content speech is humorous. But what I have found is that when I try to do just humor and all humorous, that's not my strength. That's not where I'm best. So I can handle in the morning. I can handle around lunchtime. Good amount of humor in it. But once we get into the evening, I'm struggling to keep the humor up and stand up. I've done a little bit of stand up. I've done the odd, open mic, but it's not my strength. And I think we all as speakers have to learn, what is our strength? Where do we go best? Where do we feel most comfortable? So that's the first part of the thing, just making it clear whether it's a speech to inform, a speech to entertain, a speech to inspire, or a speech to persuade. The second thing then is looking very clearly at the purpose of your particular speech. What is it that you want to achieve? Now, I talked yesterday about this whole idea of there are three things that you have to, actually I didn't do this yesterday, I'll talk about it now. Three things that I want to achieve when I do a speech. Number one is I actually want you to remember my name, to remember who I am. And the number of times I had been at conferences and somebody's come out and said, oh, I love that speech early on. Oh God, I can't remember the name. Who was it? If they can't remember your name, then no one's going to be able to connect to your speech. They're not going to be able to find you if it was recorded and put up on YouTube. They're not going to be able to find you. They're not going to check your webpage because nobody's talking about your name. So it is important to get your name across. And you pop your name in as often as you possibly can. It's great here because I can just pop my name up whenever I want to, and I can remind you what my name is, and you can get it and pick it back up. So that's the important thing. First of all, I want you to remember my name because I want to be talked about, and I want to be talked about and get my name talked about. The second thing is I need you to remember my message. Now, here's the thing. It's my message. And I did mention this yesterday. If you are one of yeah, I was working on doing on Ladies Go Live last Friday. 30 speakers in that day, and I said made a few comments. I don't know how well that will all be remembered because huge numbers of people around. I'm hoping that people remember me. I'll do everything I can to be remembered, but the important thing is very, very small number of messages. Or in fact, I suggest that what you do in terms of your purpose is you just have one clear single message, even if it's a 45-minute keynote. One clear message. If you are one of 10, 15 speakers in a day and the audience is going away and they've listened to all those speeches, what are they going to remember? Are they going to remember the 15 key points for success that you mentioned? No. By the time you get to number 4, they've already forgotten number 1. We don't have brilliant memories. And if there's lots and lots of information coming in, you've got to make that stick. So everything you can do to make it stick has got to happen. So what I work on is this: one clear message. This is speaking with purpose. Make sure you have a very simple, clear message, and then you do everything you can to reinforce that message and help people to remember to keep that message and go away. Now, best thing of all, make the title of your speech the message. That works brilliantly. I was at a convention in National Speakers Association convention in, I think it was the back end of the 90s. And there was a speaker there. In fact, he wasn't normally a speaker. His name is Ken Medema, and Ken is a blind pianist. And what he does is his great trick, his great USP, is that he goes to a conference, he listens to the speakers, and then at the end of the speech, he walks up onto the stage, gets on the piano, and plays and sings a song that he has just written while he was listening to the speech, which encapsulates what they were talking about. Now, that's a pretty good talent, you've got to admit, isn't it? He gets them to do it. Anyway, comes a year that they said, oh, look, we've had Ken here year after year after year, really great, but we want to do something different. So we don't want to use Ken this year. They said, well, we've already booked him. Okay, so we'll just get him to do a keynote then, but we don't want to do the thing after each speech. So they spoke to Ken and they coached him to do a speech. And it is the most amazing speech I've ever listened to. Now, the title of the speech was "The Magic Begins When the Speaker Listens." The magic begins when the speaker listens. And he talked a bit about his life growing up as a blind young man and how he has to see the world through his ears and perceive everything and interpret everything that's going around him, not by seeing it, but by hearing it. So he talked about the importance of hearing, and then he got some people up on stage and he did a little bit of games with them on terms of getting them to hear and listen better. And then he finished off with his thing of a few people, told them about people that had influenced them most in their lives, and he created a song. But it was a most stunning speech I've ever seen. Yet 15 years later, I still remember it as if I was sitting there watching it. Now, another man who has hugely influenced me is W. Mitchell. Now, if you've not had a chance to meet W. Mitchell, go and check him out online. W. Mitchell. Simple story about Mitchell is that he had a really serious motorcycle accident when he was a young man. The bike burst into flames, turned him into a ball of fire, and literally they had to use a photograph to piece together a face that resembled what he used to look like. When I met him the first time, it was a shock. I cannot explain it any other way. It was a shock. And I'd met him, I'd been introduced. I didn't know his hands had all been badly burnt, so he'd had lost most of his fingers, so these small, almost like stumps. His face was a patchwork quilt. And I didn't know what to do, where to look, how to connect with him. Do I shake his hand? And I really felt unbelievably uncomfortable, not knowing what to do. And I guess you've probably felt the same way, haven't you? Sometimes you've met somebody and you thought, I don't know what to do. I've had same people had the same problem with me. Oh my God, this trans person, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna make a mistake, so I will say nothing. I won't engage. And this is part of the problem that I have to do with my trainees to help people to overcome this. Now, what Mitchell taught me was amazing, because what he did at that moment was to say, hey, Rikki, come here, sit down. And he told me his story. And within 5 minutes, I'd lost all sense of what was going on around him. And I was so engrossed in his captivating story that I just saw the man beneath the exterior. It taught me a huge lesson. When I changed gender, I realized I had to take responsibility for helping people to feel comfortable with me. Now, Mitchell subsequently then had a bad accident, broke his back, put himself into a wheelchair. His speech is all about a simple message. It's not what happens to you that matters, it's what you do about it. And he's such a powerful speaker all around the world. He comes onto the stage, he just tells that story. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. And it leaves such a lasting impression as he tells his very powerful story, and inspires us all to think about the problems and the challenges we face and think, okay, fine, that isn't the problem, it's what we do. But can you see there? It's a simple, single message. He's drawn from his life experiences, what it is. Ken Medema drew from his life experiences. We're going to talk about experience tomorrow. But here's the key. It's that one simple, single message that you need to grasp. If it's going to be a little bit more complex, use an acronym. I use PEPP Talk. Purpose, Experience, Passion, Performance. The 4 elements of a great speech. Remember those. When I've finished a keynote about public speaking, I want people going home thinking, right, purpose, experience, passion, performance. That's it. And I do all sorts of things through the speech to reinforce that, to pick it back up again. What's PEPP stand for? Get the audience to participate, get them to engage. Can't do that here because you're miles away. I don't know where you are. And you may be seeing this long after I've spoken. But here's the thing. When you're doing a speech, just at the beginning of it, sit down and think, what is the one thing? If they walked away from this, if they go away from this and they've remembered nothing else, what is the one thing that I want these people to take away? What is the one takeaway? What's the one message that will remind them and change their lives? Because remember what I said yesterday, we're change agents. We want to change the world. So I need you to take one message away that will change the world. My message today, speak with purpose. A clear, single message, lock it in, make it your title. That's your talk, keeps you on focus, keeps you on track, keeps you making sure that everything you do fits to the speech and the purpose and the goal of the speech. So, where are we going now? Right. I've told you about my new club group. It's a group on Facebook at the moment. I'm going to be adding lots of other things. I'm putting a new website together. Taking a little bit of time. I've got other things to do as well, so I'm trying to bring all this together as quickly as I can. But the idea is a simple group on Facebook where you can come, you can share your online speaking. Come along if you've done a speech or share a live broadcast like this. Put it on, share it into the group. I'll comment, other people in the group will comment. There are a few people in there yet, but already I've got a few people who've got some real talent and some real ability to help. So come along into that group. I'm going to be inviting loads more people in. Got a bit of graphic work to do on the header and things like that, but we'll get there. At the moment, it's just a group to share, to support each other, to help each other, to improve our speaking, but particularly to help us all get really good at this whole area of speaking online. And if you get good at this, trust me, I know you will get good. I've a number of people who are podcasters and doing their work, podcasting and video blogging, and suddenly they're finding themselves being invited to speak. So it actually improves your ability to get speaking engagements later as well. But come along in, just join eSpeaker.com. I'll stick the, no, I haven't got the address in the chat. But if you look just below the video, or just above the video, I think it is actually, just look there, you'll see a link. Click on that, go to Facebook, eSpeaker at Facebook, and if you just search for eSpeaker on Facebook, it'll get you to the group. It's a closed group, but just click, come on in, share your thoughts, share your ideas, ask questions, ask for help. Doesn't matter, just come in. It's just about creating a community to support and help each other to get better at doing stuff online. I'm going to be doing some training. I'm going to be doing some little workshops. All free. This is all going to be about support and helping, me giving back. I've got a few commercial things that might happen on the side of it if you want to go further, but you will get benefit just by coming and joining eSpeaker.com. So there we are. Remember, when you're putting a speech together, clear, single message. Get that message absolutely clear, very, very focused. Make it your title if you can, and you can start to build a really powerful, really persuasive, entertaining, whatever speech. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care.